So like I was saying in other videos, my 6th grade year was a doozy. I started off in Greenbrier, excited to do a second year with my friends that I've made, and I was ripped and had to go to Hot Springs, and I went to a Lakeside where I did not fit in, and it did not work out well for me. And I ended up back at my grandma's, happy as a horse. Um, in Bologna school. And okay, so I finished off my 6th grade year in Bologna, and I remember the day that my mom dropped me off at my grandmother's because she was crying and she said that she will get me back. And I remember thinking, I hope not. But she does get me back, and it does work out okay, I think. But I tried to do this hairstyle that I used to do all the time in like 6th, 7th grade. I loved this hairstyle where I do a bun and have my hair sticking out, but it's been so long since I've done it. I don't think I can quite do it the same, but I'm trying to show off my hairstyle in the back. So anyway, my 6th grade year, it was, it was a crazy year. I do know that, I do believe that the first semester I had done at Greenbrier, and then I moved to Lakeside, and I finished off the year in Bologna. And yeah, so Bologna was a good school, and I really enjoyed it, and I made a lot of friends. And plus, at my grandma's, everything was set in a schedule, and I loved it. The stability, I loved it. I soaked up the stability, really, I did. And at church, we went to church on the Sundays, and we went to church on Wednesdays, and Sundays and Wednesdays, and I was moving up to the teen department in the church, and up until then, you're always with your grade. You're with the 5th graders, the 4th graders, the 6th graders, but 6th grade and on they had a junior high, which was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then they had like a high school, which was 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And that was just how the church had it set up with, the division of everything. So I'm moving up to 6th grade, and it was scary for me. And, my aunt and my grandma noticed that it was scary for me. And, they're not like my mom. And my mom's like, oh, you're scared? Suck it up. Move through. But my aunt and my grandma was like, okay, she's scared, maybe she shouldn't go to the teen department. Maybe you're not ready for the teen department, and that's fine. And so I thought maybe I wasn't ready, and I didn't quite move up to the teen department. But then after a couple of being with the lower grades, which my aunt, remember her best friend had 3 daughters, and her oldest daughter was just a little bit younger than me. Now I was in her class, and she was so happy that I was in her class. But other kids at my school, they were in the teen department and talking about what the teen department's doing, and I wanted to move up to the teen department, so I did. I left the 5th grade class and moved up to the teen department, making my good friend mad at me, but also gaining other friends who did move up and also were kind of scared and not ready to move up. And then I remember my very first weekend in the teen department, and they were asking for prayer requests. So I'm normally, like, pray for my cat. And I asked, because my aunt's cat was going to be having surgery, I asked that we prayed for my aunt's cat. And the boys just started laughing and making fun of me. And of course, the teen director stopped them. But that really impacted me, like, oh, you should watch out for what you pray for. Like, I've never been one of these type of people that's like, I'm not going to pray for God. I mean, God's got everything else on his mind, so I'm going to do me. I've heard people like that, and I love people like that, but I've never been like that. For me, it's like, of course I'm going to pray to God. God's the one that knows it all, is everywhere. And yeah, everybody's praying to him, and he's busy, but he likes to be busy. I don't know if this is a Capricorn in me or what, but I thought God liked to be busy, and I thought that God likes to talk to his kids, and he wants to interact with us, How can he help you if you're not, he can, but how can he help you to the best if you're not talking to him? Communication is key. But I've always known that. And so, with I would pray about every little thing. And then they started making fun of me for wanting to pray about my cat. And that really started to get to me. But I don't know. I guess I didn't let it bother me. But at the same time, I'm still sitting here talking about it like it did. So it really did. It bothered me and it hurt my feelings. And to me, it was a type of spiritual abuse. Low grade spiritual abuse, but it's a type of spiritual abuse. And then my sixth grade summer was, oh my goodness, this is where my mother and her sister are both living in Hot Springs now. I guess my grandmother is helping them both out. I don't know what was going on with my aunt, but my cousins were close, and they would come over, and oh my gosh, we would get into so much trouble, especially me and my girl cousin, me and the girl. Oh my gosh, we would come up with all kinds of stuff to get into. My mom was a stripper, and so she had stripper outfits, and we would get into her outfits all the time and like dance on the table just for each other, and nothing, nothing bad. But we this summer we went to the school to play on the playground, and it was hot, and they do have water fountains outside, but we just had the idea of what if we can get in the school, what'll happen. And most of the doors were locked, but some of the doors were locked with chains. You open them and there's a chain, and we were like, what if you could get through there? It's like, I think your little brother can, like, through the crack. And so we go and we get my little brother and we bring him and we try to get him. We hold it open. We're like, we'll hold it open. You get through. And he was not able to quite get through, but what he was able to do is climb, and then the triangle that was at the top, he could get through that part and then climb back down. And then the doors that were just locked, he just opens them from the inside, lets us in, and woo, we are at a playground all summer long. And we end up getting her big brother in on it, of course. And I mean, it's the perfect place to play school, right? Let's play school. I'm going to be your teacher at the front. And then, of course, everybody messes up and does all kinds of stuff and messes up. But, I mean, you could pretend to have your own classroom, in which I pretended to have my own classroom. And then, like, there was a vending machine, and we didn't think about breaking it, thank God. But we would go through all the teachers' desks, had a little bit of change in them, and we ended up having enough money to get things out of the vending machine different days. We would hang out in the teachers' lounge, and then it got more and more intense. We realized that all the teachers had rolly chairs. So we would take the rolly chairs and zoom them down the halls, up and down the halls. And then we were like, this isn't enough. So we would take bubbles, like, because in the teachers' classrooms, and like you go into the closets and there's all kinds of stuff in all the teachers' classrooms, and we went through every classroom, all the stuff, all of it. This was like all summer long. We continually broke into the school, and eventually there was a couple times that we didn't even need you just need one person to hold it open and then jump over, get through. We could do that ourselves. And oh my gosh, we would pour bubbles up and down the hallway to make it like a slippy slidey, and then slide the rolly chairs up and down. It's a miracle that we didn't get hurt. Yeah, so it's really crazy. And yeah, it was a crazy summer, and we never got caught, so that was really cool. And yeah, we got into everything, and we should have got caught. And there was a couple times whenever, like, the janitor or someone would come, we would hide, and we'd leave real quick before he caught us. We never got caught. And then I go back to my grandparents for the end of the school year. I go back, and on TV, there was this thing on TV where the news was talking about how someone had broke into this school over the summer and devastated and got into everything, and how they think it's probably kids and everything. And I was like, I called my cousin. I was like, oh my gosh, what do you think? And she's like, girl, they ain't gonna know it's us. We ain't even gonna worry about it. Back in the day, they didn't have cameras everywhere set up. They couldn't like they do nowadays. So we were really lucky for that. But I don't know. It was an exciting time in my life. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I don't know why it was so much fun, but it was. Because, of course, I know why it was so much fun. Because we were breaking the rules and we were getting into stuff. And it was like the whole school was our playground. And I don't know. I'm not saying it was a good thing. I'm saying it was a fun thing. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm definitely not saying that I should be like an influencer anyway, you know. I think it's crazy that, I'm on YouTube and I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to be me, I'm just trying to overcome with my testimony too. And my 7th grade year, like I had this habit of I would go to my mom's during the summertime, and then during the school I would get into all kinds of trouble at my mom's, and then during the school year I'd go back and be put in that steady schedule with church and everything, and I'd start reading my Bible a lot more, and yeah, I would start to feel guilty. And so now I was reading my Bible and going to church and participating, and I had my best friend who is also going to church, and we had a little group at school of girls that we were all, me and one other girl was in the same church, and another girl went to a different church. One was a Catholic and 2 didn't even go to church. But we had our little group of girlfriends, and we really thought that we were something. And I would go to church and I would begin to feel guilty, because that's what I mean, I think church is designed to make you feel guilty. It's a weekly guilt trip that people like to participate in together. And I think that it's a beautiful thing, but I do think it's a beautiful thing. Like, I know I'm odd. I don't think that things are bad. Like, people think things are good, and that's why I want to get my testimony out, because I want y'all to see the other viewpoint that I have. But yeah, so I did go back and start reading my Bible, and I decided that it is time for me as a Christian to get baptized. And so I went to the preacher and I told him that I'm ready to get baptized. And so he, back then, I don't know if they still do it now, but he put together a family meeting where we all talked and we discussed whether or not I'm ready to get baptized. And, this is my decision, and it's not necessary. Like, in my church, First Baptist Church, it's not necessarily necessary to get baptized. Getting baptized is a show to the community and showing that you are now ready to be born anew and that you are going to be the best, Christian that you can possibly be. And so I did feel like it was time for me to get baptized. And so we were preparing for my baptism, and we let my mother know. And I remember her picking me up on the weekends, and she was like, she tried to talk me out of it, which was truth, it was her truth, and I'm glad that she did. And I'm glad that I had that time with her where she's like, I don't know if you should do this, and da 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 da. And I'm glad that I listened to it, but I decided to go through with my baptism anyway. I ended up getting baptized, and I got closer to God as much as I could, and I tried to be the best little Christian that I could be. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you for the rest of my story. Thank you so much for watching my testimony. I appreciate all of you. I just want to put a disclaimer here at the end. This testimony is based off my memories and how I remember it, and memories can get convoluted, distorted. So maybe not all the details are factual, and it's not a completely factual story, but it's still my story and my truth. And I really appreciate all of you for watching. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my story. That's all she got.